It is a great privilege to join you all here today in this Citizens' Assembly process and what's going to be, I believe, a momentous discussion. But you are the only people who will make the decisions in this room, on this Assembly.
We would encourage everyone to be bold in their questioning and recommendations as we go through the process.
But what I would like to see is something active and dynamic grow, because you can bang about the criminal law book forever and ever and ever, and it doesn't stop murder, it doesn't stop any of the other of these horrible crimes. So criminalising and making it a criminal justice issue solely is not what it's going to work.
People like ourselves working in this sector want to help people out of this. People who are in addiction want to get out of addiction. They do not want, this is not a lifelong dream to be in addiction. They want to be out of it.
So the question I suppose we have is, when people reach out for help, why are we putting hurdles in the way?
I don't think there is one solution. There has to be several solutions, because I think there are several things happening.
I think early intervention and clear pathways into recovery has to take place. I think it's extremely difficult at times in terms of accessing recovery.
And I visited Coolmine this morning, the ladies, and again, emotional, because it works out there. It actually works. And it doesn't need to be reinvented.
So my point really is, once you have a good, solid, robust structure, integrated, good partner in the community like Coolmine, ourselves in the HSE advocating for more, you can get results. And I mean that integrated care, that is the way to go.
Not everybody can go through the health-led approach, which is wonderful, but there needs to be something when that doesn't work.
How do we support young people from an early age? How do we improve our education system and their experience of the education system so that there is other options for them? Because at the moment their options are to move into the drugs trade are often their best options.
And the sooner we get stuck into accommodating and minding young people, and the better in terms of prevention.
But at what point do we see them as victims? Because a 30 and 40 and 15-year-old, how do we see them as a criminal? They have been failed by successive government policies, they've been failed by statutory agencies, they've been failed by education systems, housing policy, social welfare policy.
The consequence of all this is that punishing these children on the assumption that they have a free rein to act pro-socially or anti-socially is unfair. Punishing them is also ineffective.
I have 2 teenagers, and you have changed my thought process completely about drugs and about the future of this country. One issue that we felt really strongly about is trauma. Trauma is the root of addiction, and this has to be recognised and the stigma removed.
We need to harness this recovery capital at a systemic level. We need our key partners across housing, health, education, employment, social services and justice. Where we live, where we play and where we work will determine our health. When we have health in all policy, health improvements are clear.
What we need are treatments that recognise a biopsychosocial model. We need treatments that can overlap that. But more important than that, it has to be rooted in compassion and empathy. It's not conveyor belt approach.
I don't believe that 9 individuals for 26 counties is enough. If even we were to say it was 10% or under, it's not enough, it's not adequate. Can we please take our heads out of the sand for once and for all?
If someone was, say, being referred to the service and the person is based in Galway, and I'm having somebody who's in possession in Donegal, which is a 4-hour trip, how do I refer them on?
And I think there's moments like this when we get to talk about it, especially in the traveller community, and bring awareness around about it. Everything helps.
What do people tell us? They tell us they want to live. They tell us they want to realise their full potential. They tell us they want to have a stake in society. They tell us they want to be involved.
So there's kind of pockets of really good things happening all around the place. But there's some momentum now by the existence of the Assembly to say, let's get clear on this and have one clear strategy that everyone is rowing in behind.
If you do good things for other people, your own self-esteem improves. They benefit. And if you think about that as a community entity, across services, across interventions in families, across people who are struggling because they don't have a sense of belonging, it is really powerful. And the untapped bit is to get it into our consciousness and into our education system.
When they're not looked at as just a number and a statistic, you see them as people. They're literally like somebody sitting in the bus next to you. Could be exactly like them in Coolmines, and you wouldn't know it.
they're not criminals. They shouldn't be treated like criminals. They're not serial killers or terrorists. You know, they're suffering an addiction and they should be helped.